Okay, so today we are going to be doing a book haul. I don't do book hauls very often because I don't purchase a lot of books. And I looked back on my channel to see how long it's been since I've done a book haul. And the answer is since Christmas. My Christmas haul was the last one, so I've bought a couple books since then. I'm gonna show them to you. But first, a shout out to today's sponsor, Squarespace. From websites to online stores to marketing tools to analytics, Squarespace is an all-in-one platform that helps you to build your website and grow your business. But we'll talk more about them at the end of the video. Books I bought since the beginning of 2021. Should I have waited until the halfway point to film this video? So first, we have The Heroes by Joe Abercrombie. So after I finished Best Served Cold, I immediately bought The Heroes because I loved Best Served Cold and I always want more of Abercrombie's work. Here's the problem. The problem is that I heard that this is his least popular standalone and that it's basically one big battle, one big war book. And I don't hate battle sequences in books, but I don't need a lot. I like kind of medium length battle sequences. If they go too long, I get bored. And a whole book of it, even with Abercrombie's incredible writing skill, intimidates me. I'm afraid I won't like it. So I've been putting it off. But my friend Slagathor, or Adrian is her correct name. Adrian and I are going to be buddy reading this book to a lot of people on the Discord's happiness. So this is getting read in May. Fingers crossed I love it. I don't think Joe will let me down, but I am afraid that it's not going to be my taste. I also have Love Redesigned. So in January, we were coming up with February books for the buddy read poll for my Patreon, and one of the mods mentioned, hey, February is Valentine's Day, maybe we should do a romance. So I was looking up different romance titles. None of them got chosen for the poll. But when we were looking them up, I found this one, which is a self-published romance book. I don't remember anything about it. Okay, I'm not entirely sure why I picked this, other than it does say in the description, a wedding dress heist, which sounds so dumb, but I instantly want to read it because heist. Anyway, they have some sort of beef with each other. She has to move back home. She's a designer. Romance. I don't know that much about it. I think the word heist is what made me buy it. Anyway, I don't read a lot of romance, so it's just been sitting for whenever I get in the romance mood. Funny enough, I am currently reading a romance book because one of my friends asked me if I wanted to buddy read it, and the answer is always yes for a buddy read. So there will be a romance review coming to you soon, and eventually I'll read this too. Wow, I'm gonna be honest with you. When I decided it was we were probably due for a book haul, I didn't realize how few books I had bought, so I apologize for how short this video is. Next book I bought in March, and that was Boundaries, which is a nonfiction book about having healthy boundaries in your life with friends, with family, with work. In general, I haven't read it yet, but I'm going to read it soon. Interesting. Hey. Next I have Kindred by Octavia Butler. So this is such an interesting concept. We follow Dana, who is a 26-year-old Black woman who is married. Yeah, she's married. And then randomly, I assume, I haven't read the book yet, she's ripped from her life and teleported back to the antebellum South, where a man is drowning, and she, for whatever reason, has been ripped through time to save him. And I think she goes back and forth between her current timeline and then continuing to get ripped out of that back to antebellum South, to slave quarters, to interact with certain people. And each time that she's taken back, her stay gets longer and things get more and more dangerous, I think. And it gets to the point where she thinks, my life may end before I even get to have a life where I belong. It's such an interesting concept. Time travel isn't something that instantly pulls me in, but it has worked for me, and this idea is so cool. Anyway, this is a Patreon buddy read for May. So I'm going to be reading it really soon, and I'm really excited for it. And finally, I have 3 more Daphne du Maurier books. we have The Scapegoat, which will be my next one because it's a buddy read with my friend, Lucy. Hey, Lucy. So The Scapegoat is about two men who look near identical. They happen upon each other. And I think after a conversation, one of them ends up knocking the other out and stealing his life. And then we're with the one whose life has been stolen. And I guess he's gonna try to live life in the other person's shoes for some reason, instead of trying to take back his life. I think that's what's happening in this book. I'm actually not positive. All I know, I try not to look up too much about classics because spoilers abound. But all I know is it's two men, one steals the other's life. We live in the stolen life. And we live in the life of the man whose identity has been stolen. It sounds really interesting. It sounds different from any du Maurier I've read. Daphne du Maurier is one of my favorite authors. I'll read anything she writes, including this, soon. So this is a coincidence. I didn't realize when I bought these two books, which I bought them at the same time, that they had such similar concepts. But I'm thrilled. Because usually if I read a book and I love it, I try to find similar books. So if I love Kindred, which I really think I will, I'm probably going to love House on the Strand. So this is about two men, one man in particular, I believe. And one man gets transported to escape from his troubles, he's given a new drug. And that drug has now transported him to the 14th century. So he's now going back and forth in time. He keeps getting transported back to the 14th century and then back here and then getting taken back again. I think the drug is what's doing it, so it's probably more voluntary for him, I would guess. And he, each time he goes back, he gets more and more invested and engrossed in the life that he has in the 14th century, which is making him reject this life more. So it seems like he's rejecting his current timeline and wants the past timeline that he's getting. Either way, this sounds really interesting. Again, really different from any du Maurier that I've read. I'm excited to read more of her books. I think of the books that I've read of hers, they've all been relatively different, but have similarities to them. And the books that I picked up this time, especially the two that I just talked about, seem really different than I've read of hers, so I'm excited to see what she does with them. And my last du Maurier, I think, is going to be more in the vein of what I've read from her already. It's called The King's General. So this follows an 18-year-old woman who is in love and in a relationship with a high priority fella, but then she has an accident where she falls off her horse and is badly injured. I don't know the extent of the injury, but because of that, she ends up running away from him, accepting that he'll never want her this way, and goes to live in a manor. It seems like it's going to be gothic. There's mysteries, there's scandal, there's a deep-seated past that she must do something about. And as it seems from what I can gather, again, I try not to look too much into classics before I read them, it seems like she's going to rise up and do what she can to make a difference, as well as probably reunite with her love. Okay, those are all the books that I bought so far in the first 5 months of this year, 4.5 months. Anyway, here's an ad. Ever buy a puzzle, get really excited for a relaxing time, and then realize that's a lot of pieces? Well, I've got a business for you. I've started a business so that when the puzzle has defeated you, all you have to do is pack up all the pieces, send it to me, I'll complete the puzzle and send it back to you. Voila! You have a beautifully completed puzzle without the work. And I'm going to build this business with Squarespace. This is gonna take a long time. What's super handy about using Squarespace is that you run the website. So when you need to change something, you can, easily. There has to be pieces missing. This doesn't make sense! Squarespace has integrated analytics. Refine your email strategy with real-time campaign and website analytics from one source. Learn what content leads to higher engagement, tracking metrics from send to sale. It also has appointment scheduling. So because your business is thriving, you can add online booking and scheduling for your services. Clients can easily see your availability and reschedule if needed, taking the hassle out of coordinating calendars. I did it. I completed the puzzle. This business is gonna work. So head over to squarespace.com for your free trial, and when you're ready to launch, use the link in my description for 10% off your first website or domain. There you go, those are the books that I bought so far this year. I'll be reading all of them very soon, so reviews to come, I suppose. Anyway, I would love to chat with you more about any of these books in the comments. Have you read any of them? Do you think I'm gonna love them? Do you think I'm gonna hate them? Are there any that you're going to be picking up now? There are affiliates linked in the description for all of these books if you wanna check them out yourself. I post videos every Tuesday through Friday. I'll see you again soon. Bye.